What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a super exciting Liverpool transfer news video, another one as DJ Khaled has said, because Liverpool are putting together a package for Alexander Isak that could be even bigger than the Florian Wirtz transfer package, which is 116 million pounds. I think it's true that it would take 120, 130 million pounds for Liverpool to get him, and Alexander Isak is Liverpool's number one striker priority, and we are looking to sell Darwin Nunez 100%. Federico Chiesa is maybe looking to leave. Napoli are interested in him and other Italian clubs, and he wants regular playing time ahead of the World Cup so he can get back into the Italian national team. And Luis Diaz is flirting with Barcelona, and Saudi clubs are circling around him as well. So Liverpool could sell a lot of big players for big money, and according to Sami Moghbel, a potential deal for Alexander Isak could be even bigger than the Florian Wirtz deal, which is absolutely brilliant. The BBC journalist reckons that this could be the biggest deal of the whole summer transfer window. But he says that it would be an outrageous move for Isak to move away from Newcastle. He said it's massive, I can't see another bigger deal. It will most likely be the biggest deal of the summer. The Alexander Isak rumors have been quieter around Liverpool as of late, but now they are intensifying, and there are still some suggestions that Liverpool are keen on Isak. He said, is there any talk or chatter with the sources you have? He was asked that Liverpool are trying to make inroads into signing Alexander Isak. Have you come across anything like that? Yeah, not to the point where I've had it verified or have been comfortable enough to write about it or report it. But I would be lying if I said even recently I haven't heard anything about Liverpool's interest in Alexander Isak. The biggest concern is it financially viable? Can Liverpool actually get enough money in from player sales to put together a package good enough for Newcastle to even consider it? But if Liverpool land Isak and Wirtz in the same transfer window, can you imagine? That would be an absolute 10 out of 10, a dream transfer window for Liverpool. Some even say it's a 20 out of 10, because that would be absolutely outrageous. And yes, I know that a deal for Alexander Isak will be extremely difficult, but Liverpool will definitely ask the question of Newcastle, is there any chance we can do a deal? And also, I think Alexander Isak will need to push for this deal to happen. And that's the only way I see Newcastle crack, because if Isak doesn't make any noises about wanting to leave, then Newcastle will just reject all offers. Of course, there are other options. The Liverpool do not want to waste huge money on an attacker if it's not a top 2 or top 3 choice. And I think Liverpool's second choice is Hugo Ekitike, and maybe the third choice is Gyökeres, but I haven't heard a lot about that. But yeah, if Ekitike costs 75 to 80 million pounds, then no thanks, that's too much money for him. Because Ekitike had like more than 15 league goals in a season for the first time of his career, so he's not worth 100 million euros, that's like 75, 80 million pounds. Of course, Julian Alvarez should be, I think, Liverpool's second choice, but again, I'm not sure if he's even available. But if Newcastle are playing hardball on this one, Liverpool could go for Osimhen, which is more cheaper, and he has a better output in terms of goals than all the other strikers available except Alexander Isak. So Osimhen is very reliable. And yes, Osimhen is not a Premier League proven player, Alexander Isak is. And Isak is the best centre forward out of all the names that Liverpool are linked with. And if Liverpool inquire about him, then the player's head could turn, because his representatives will see big dollar signs when it comes to Liverpool transfer, and he could go to a club where he can challenge for the Premier League and the Champions League and win probably one of those trophies in the next 2 years at least. Because if Liverpool have the money and the intent is there, then there is every chance that Liverpool could get Alexander Isak. But also there is an argument to be made that if you are an elite striker right now at a top 8 club like Newcastle, who are not regularly qualifying for the Champions League, this is only the second time in 20 years that they qualified for the Champions League, and the first time they got knocked out in the group stages. But if you are an elite striker and Liverpool come knocking on your door, Isak could pack his bags and go to Liverpool. Imagine Wirtz in the number 10 position, Salah on the right, Diaz or Gakpo on the left, and Isak through the middle as a number 9, getting supplied by Wirtz and Salah. Behind them, McAllister and Gravenberch running the midfield, and also 2 flying fullbacks. That is a dream setup for any striker, for any number 9. So Alexander Isak, we are talking to you. Come to Liverpool, mate. There is an argument to be made that maybe Liverpool will go for a left winger instead of a striker. If we sell Luis Diaz, then we could actually go for Barcola, who is also linked with Liverpool, and he might be available for a little bit cheaper than somebody like Anthony Gordon, who is £75 million, and again, that's a little bit overpriced. And according to some newspapers, Liverpool already earmarked Barcola as one of their transfer targets for this summer transfer window if he's available. He's only 22 years old. His future at Paris Saint-Germain is in doubt, even though he scored 10 goals and got 14 assists in just the league last season, but he didn't start the Champions League final. He's upset about that, and he's worried about his playing time. And also, Liverpool refused to rule out a move for Alexander Isak, but a valuation of 150 million, that would end Liverpool's interest probably. And there are reports already that Nunez is wanted by Al Hilal, by Atletico Madrid, and by other clubs as well. So yeah, Osimhen scored 26 goals and Alexander Isak scored 23, but Isak is playing in a much harder competition. Osimhen won 55% of his total duels, 60% of his aerial duels, which is pretty good. By comparison, Isak averaged just 33% for both of those metrics in the Premier League. Osimhen also has been more prolific in front of goal. He scored 151 goals in 264 club career games. He played in Italy, Turkey, France, Belgium and Germany. Isak scored 134 goals in 300 senior games during his spells in England, Spain, Sweden, Germany and the Netherlands. So maybe Osimhen is a greater clinical threat overall. So he would be actually a really good option and he wouldn't cost as much as Alexander Isak, but I'm not sure if Osimhen's exact play style would fit what Arne Slot wants from his striker, because Arne Slot also wants his striker not just to be a finisher but also to link play and sometimes to drop deep into midfield, so there is space behind him. The one negative with Osimhen is he hasn't played in the Premier League yet, so we don't know how he would handle that. And now let's talk about what comes next for Liverpool in the transfer window, because Liverpool will look to finalize a deal for Milos Kerkez, and after Wirtz and Kerkez are officially finalized, Liverpool will shift their immediate focus to player sales, helping facilitate moves for those unwanted by Arne Slot, and also looking to move on for increased game time. And after Liverpool create further space in the squad and recouping some funds, then Liverpool will attack the transfer market again, given the right players are available for sensible prices. Liverpool at the bare minimum would like to sign at least one more player, and the striker is on the top of the list. Alexander Isak contract has been maintained, but the deal is highly unlikely because Newcastle will not budge on their valuation. But contract talks are planned for July, and if maybe Isak and Newcastle can't agree on a new contract, that there is a chance for Liverpool to get him. Ekitike is a player Liverpool appreciate, and we held talks with him, but further additions will of course depend on outgoings. For example, Diaz and Kwanzaa. But Liverpool aren't in a rush to sell, and Liverpool would be happy if any of these players stayed. So the summer has just begun. There is a lot of moving pieces that still need to find their home. And Liverpool aren't really in the market for hidden gems right now. They want very good players now who could be the best in class in their position in the future. That's why we are signing Wirtz. He's already best in class, but Frimpong and Kerkez already, very good players, and they could become their the best player in their position. So Liverpool won't take gambles with the finances they have available. They want to be 100% convinced with every signing. In terms of the strikers market, Alvarez and Isak are the only two players on the market, and I'm not even sure they are on the market, who are actually worth £100 million. So those two most likely will stay at their clubs, and Ekitike is not an £80 million footballer. I'm sorry about that, but he is not. So Liverpool wouldn't get great value for money. And it makes a lot of sense. The priority signings will be in place for pre-season, and the sales will start heading out the door. Arne Slot will want a squad he will be working with all of next season, and not many stragglers just hanging about in 4 or 5 weeks' time. The striker market is making lots of noise, but very little movement at the moment. So there is a few domino effects that need to be triggered first, and then maybe Liverpool will go for a striker after the striker market gets triggered by maybe one big striker moving. And also it's an interesting story that Barcelona leaked their interest in Nico Williams and the talks with Nico Williams, and that does two jobs at once, because either Barcelona, they land a top class winger, or they turn the heat up on Luis Diaz to push harder for his dream move before it's too late to Barcelona. So that could be a message to Luis Diaz as well. Push harder for the move. It's a smart play, but Liverpool will know what is going on. Liverpool will not sell Luis Diaz on the cheap. So if Barcelona want him, even if Luis Diaz pushes, Barcelona need to pay 60-65 million pounds at least. Also, I want to talk about the former Bayer Leverkusen manager Peter Bosz. In 2024, he said this about Florian Wirtz. In his first training session with the pros, Florian Wirtz was 16 years old and he didn't lose the ball once. I watched him and I couldn't believe it. What was this? Every difficult pass, he got out of it with one touch. Wow. Mark my words, he will be the best player in the world one day, and he will win the Ballon d'Or. Wow, that's huge compliment for Florian Wirtz, and I'm really, really excited about it. I also wanted to comment finally on a story, weird story this, that a major Saudi Arabian newspaper, Riyadh, claims that Al Hilal has agreed to bring Michael Edwards as sporting director next season. And it's the newspaper is a solid source, but lots of Saudi Arabian fans messaged this Liverpool website that broke the story with some more clarification. So the outlet is a notable Saudi outlet, but the journalists behind this story are not. They are not reliable, and most likely they are spreading lies just in favor of Al Hilal, basically doing great PR for Al Hilal. And Ben Jacobs also came out with the information on the topic, saying that Michael Edwards is another candidate for the role Al Hilal have approached, even though Michael Edwards is happy in his current role. And he made it clear that Michael Edwards is not looking to leave Liverpool or FSG, so he is staying. And why would he leave? He just got into the job, being the CEO of football at FSG. So this hopefully provides some clarification, and let's hope there isn't any legs to this story, because if Liverpool lose Michael Edwards this early into his second tenure, that would be pretty devastating blow, because he's one of the best, in the business when it comes to his position. Also, Florian Plettenberg is reporting that Liverpool will see themselves having a very good chance in the race for Hugo Ekitike. However, they have clearly signaled that they still need some time, as sales need to happen first. Probably Darwin Nunez needs to be sold at least, and Ekitike is aware of this. So that's why maybe Ekitike hasn't said yes to the Chelsea transfer, because he's waiting for maybe Liverpool to come in for him. Also, the transfer of Jaros from Liverpool to Ajax is a matter of time. Ajax will loan the goalkeeper, and they won't have an option to buy him. It will be just a straight loan deal, which is interesting. And also, Louis Steer is reporting that Liverpool had fostered a great relationship with the Wirtz family for some years, going back to when they kept an eye on the teenager at his former club, Cologne. And Liverpool's third bid came 10 days ago, and that was £100 million plus £14 million in add-ons, and Liverpool and Leverkusen continue to negotiate up until yesterday, when they shook hands on £100 million guaranteed fee plus 16 million in bonuses, which include winning the league, winning the Champions League, winning even the Ballon d'Or. So some of the bonuses are hard to achieve. And The Athletic understands that Wirtz will earn around £200,000 per week at Liverpool before any bonuses which may accrue him. So I think that's a relatively normal salary for such a world-class player. Salah is earning close to £400,000 per week, but Wirtz's salary will increase as he gets some contract extensions at Liverpool. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this Liverpool transfer news update video. I had a lot of fun making it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.